we go. Right then. How is everyone? Welcome back to the Hull City Best podcast. We are still live. We've just ran through the Mizai 11, and now here we are with the live phone-in. We've got Lewis Railton join me, and for anybody who doesn't know Lewis already, look forward to hearing his accent and still try and believe he's a Hull City fan. So number one, Lewis, how are you doing? You all right?
I'm good, Matt. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, man. Not too bad. The Geordie Tiger, here he is. Lewis, the thing with these phone-ins, it's an open forum. You can go for whatever you want. So I can ask some questions, or alternatively, you can throw some stuff at me. The good way to start is generally what you're thinking of Hull City right now.
I think we've got to start with the Hull Stoke game at the weekend. Just the incredible performance. I mean, everyone playing was just absolutely immense, and it was just incredible all over the park.
I enjoyed it. Did you go?
Unfortunately, due to the first train at Stoke from Sheffield arriving at 11:57, I might have missed a fair bit of the game, so couldn't go, unfortunately.
Stinker. Absolute stinker. Our man went.
I did indeed.
Love to see it. Love to see it.
Orchestrating the choir down at the front.
You had the very front. I saw you were looking backwards, giving it all.
I was on the TV. I was on the TV. I didn't feel too fresh on the journey home, but we did manage to get the atmosphere going, which was good. Johnny Atker, big ups to you as well. He did some good singing, so I'll give him that. Give him his due. So yeah, it was a good atmosphere. To be fair, everyone was in full voice, and we were winning 3-0 and more by the Tigers came out. What more can you ask for? So buzzing.
How many pints were sunk into already?
Oh, I think I don't know if my boss is watching, so I won't be able to tell you. I won't be able to tell you live, but maybe I'll tell you after. So
we'll say a safe 2 just now.
Yeah, 2. That's that. But 2. That's what we're going with.
Perfect. So Stoke away, we've won 3-1. Takes up to 4th in the league. How does that compare to where you thought we would be?
I was predicting 10th at the start of the season, and I still would have been very happy with that. But the fact that Liam Rosenior has guided his team to 4th so far, we're not that far into the season. Obviously, don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but it's been positive, bar one certain Carabao Cup result a month ago. It's been absolutely incredible, the stuff we've seen so far, especially with. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, carry on.
It was just especially with the way he's regalvanized Aaron Connolly's career, for example. No team would have taken him on last summer, and since he's came to the MKM, he's just been a completely different player to what we've seen at his earlier loan spells.
Exactly. There's so many W's in there at the moment. We're winning on and off the field at the moment, and this is why it feels so good to be a Tiger at the moment, or an Hull City fan, however you refer to yourself. This is why it feels so good to be involved with the club at the moment, because we're not just looking good on the pitch. Everything sounds good off it. When we're starting to see Liam's name mentioned in certain things away from from the pitch, it's beautiful to see. As much as we'd rather him stay under the radar.
I think was it Micah Richards that said it on a podcast. I think he's given them some credit recently, which is always a good sign.
Yeah, Baxter goes to the top. I'm sure Jim White said something similar as well. He said he'd like to see him take an opportunity. But realistically, I think there's only 2 places he goes. If he was to leave mid-season, I think it's either Fulham or Brighton. I think they're the only 2 places he would take. Anywhere else, he'd probably wait till the end of the season if we don't get promoted. Would be my view. But feel free to challenge that. What do you think?
No, I think he's certainly a Premier League coach, in my opinion. No other Championship side would have the pulling power to draw him away from Hull, which, we've got a lot of ambition. We've certainly got a vision that Rosenior has bought into from Akon, and I only think a fairly big money move in the Premier League, mid-table and above, would be enough to persuade him.
Yeah. Do you know what? I don't think anyone like that comes in from yet, because he's still a little bit improving. It would be, I think there's an easy. We're caught in the bubble, aren't we, of Hull City at the moment? As many people think, we see Liam a lot more than everybody else does. So the only thing I can kind of relate it to is Southampton last year when they came in for Nathan Jones. I think there's a bit of a similarity there, and I don't see Liam Rosenior doing that sort of thing I think he's just smarter than that. You know, he thinks his time's coming, and if he carries on doing the little things right, even if the results don't make it in terms of us getting promoted, he will get a shot at the big time. I think that's the guy.
I think it's one of the things that we saw with Nathan Jones. It did seem as if he appeared to jump ship a little bit. Like he was doing well with Luton, but maybe he didn't see the long-term plan. Maybe he just fancied getting into the Premier League the fast way rather than building with Luton. And I think Mazzini's a completely different coach when it comes to that. He seems to have lasted everywhere he's been. He was with Derby until he got sacked for whatever reason. I'm still very confused with that one, but he doesn't like to jump ship, certainly.
No, I agree. Any questions your end, Eddie?
Yeah, well, obviously with the way, obviously you said you were expecting 10th. What do you reckon your expectation would be now after the start of the season that we've had?
I think in the recent form against some top sides as well, I think I wouldn't want to say it would be a disappointment to not reach the top 6, but I feel like it might be a slight bit of a missed opportunity if we weren't able to capitalise on this early brilliant form and reach the playoffs. Will we win them? Not sure, but I think there will be a slight bit of disappointment, even though a 7th or 8th place finish would certainly be an overachievement in my eyes.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I think obviously when I came on as a guest, Matt, I said around the same thing. Didn't I? said I'd be happy with a 10th, but obviously going to Leicester, winning 1-0, obviously not getting the 3 points against Leeds, which is a bit gutting. We're putting up some good results against some very good teams, and obviously with Plymouth this weekend, it's another good chance to get another 3 points, and let's just keep the momentum going. That's what I say, and just keep pushing on.
Here's a chance to talk about a little bit of irony. There's only one game we haven't scored in, and it's Leeds. And let's be real, that's probably the one where we've had the easiest chance in, which is quite in itself pretty confusing, isn't it?
It's it's just typical City. Unfortunately, I couldn't get to that game, which I'm absolutely gutted with. You
live Sheffield, don't you?
Yeah, I do. But we've always got issues. I've had it at 3 games in a row. Basically, I've only went to Sheff Wednesday at home this season. All the others I've not been able to make it to because the Sheffield to Hull. It's the Hull to Sheffield. Sorry, the last train always keeps getting cancelled, and it's impossible for me to go.
I used to live in Sheffield. It's an absolute shambles. Northern Rail, sort it out.
Northern Snail, I like to call them. Gosh, slow, mate, aren't they?
But yeah, I think especially the early game that we don't score in against Leeds, you see it on Twitter all the time now that you're saying it's a cup final, this, that, and the other. I think if Adama puts that chance away, then we're buzzing. We're still unbeaten. Obviously, we're still unbeaten since the first game of the season, barring the game against Doncaster, which I won't go into too much. But Adama made up for himself at the weekend. I thought. Obviously, he puts that chance away. It's a lot harder than the chance he had against Leeds as well. But he's definitely redeemed himself.
It's funny.
Sorry, it's with that chance against Leeds. I would have fancied myself in his shoes. I played in the bottom division for my age group up north, and I still think I could have hammered it away. So
I reckon you would, Matt, with your dodgy knee.
What was that?
I reckon you'd have put it away with your dodgy knee, wouldn't you?
I don't know, mate. I don't know. There's a
we
chance.
won't talk about what happened on that Sunday, will we?
No, I'm more than happy to talk about it. I probably hit 28, 29, and I became arguably the most injury prone player you will ever meet. The bizarre ways I have got injured are ridiculous. No, it started
walking
by
back
just
to the.
Let's not peak too early, mate. That's the best one. Whether it just be a little bit knee pain after playing or whatever, it started with that. Hamstring started rolling my ankles, quad went, stuff like that. I want to go all the time, don't they? So about 2 years ago, I was refereeing, backpedaling, just running backwards, cockled over, ankle went out for 2 weeks. That was one. Yeah. Most recent game, about 3 weeks ago, I got injured during the minute's silence.
You've got to explain that one.
I don't even know how it happened. Honestly, I don't. I have this little bit of pain in my knee. No, I have this little bit of pain in my knee sometimes, and I have to like kind of stand in a tiny squat, like just a little bit of a squat, so I don't feel any pain. So I thought I'll just get into that little squat position while doing this minute silence. Got back out of it, and I was like, nah, knee's gone. And I had to. Eddie was subbed. So Eddie came on for me, and Eddie had to start the game.
I ended up playing, what was it? I ended up playing, 70, 72, 73 minutes, and then I rolled my ankle, so then you had to come back on, and it was just a shambles. But
straight back from the hospital ward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's us. That's charity football. Back to the thing at hand. So Hull City itself, we've got Plymouth coming up at the weekend. Last question for you, Lewis. What are your thoughts going into this game?
I think we've got to be favourites for this one. We saw them absolutely dominate. Was it Norwich? They scored 5 or 6 against at home. I mean, it just seemed like an absolute freak result, to be honest. They've got a solid team, but nothing what they're going to come against on Saturday. I think if I had to give a score prediction, I'll say 2-1. We always find one way to concede, but we won't concede more than one with Super Ryan or something goal.
It'd be nice to have another clean sheet, wouldn't it? It would be nice. I'd be happy with that. Are you going, Lewis?
Thankfully, I am. I've had to rely on. So unfortunately, the Saturday trains are cancelled. Rail strikes again, but I've had to rely on my grandparents who live near Grimsby, the other side of the bridge, which don't know how well that one's going to get received. But I'm going to be staying at theirs for the weekend just to see Plymouth, which I'd say that's a fair bit of commitment on my part.
It's honest, like someone's got your family and just thrown them across the UK and just gone, just live with it, get on with it, everywhere. But no, absolute pleasure to have you on, Lewis. Hopefully become a regular. Jump on, mate. I'm more than happy to have you on more often. So, yeah, cheers, Lewis. Absolutely
great
brilliant
stuff. Cheers, Matt. Cheers, Eddie. See you later.
See you later.
Cheers. See you later. Bye.
I've got a question for you, Matt, whilst we're at it, whilst we're just doing the live phone-in. What are your honest thoughts of Ryan Alsop? There you go. There's a question. My first question to you.
Cheers. I quite like the guy. For what we need, if we're going to be a team that's in possession, I think it makes sense to have Ryan Alsop. I know Liam Rosini made a couple of comments about this after the Leeds game, I think it was, saying, I've heard a bit of noise on Twitter. I've got guys that tell me Ryan Alsop's only good with the ball at his feet, but he can't save. Well, he's proven everyone wrong so far, hasn't he? Being good with the ball at his feet, you instantly think it's just to do the short 3-4-5 yard passes to get out of danger. But it's proven he can put people in behind as well with his kicking.
Look at the 70-yard pass on Saturday. I mean, what a ball! I mean, it was just. I think it was literally straight after pretty much there or thereabouts, straight after the first goal. So you can imagine we're all still celebrating, hugging one another, and you just see this long ball fly into Aaron Connolly out on the left, and you straight back up and at him. So it was just class. And obviously when he did that one-on-one save on last Wednesday night against Leeds, I was like, wow, the Cardiff fans really. But it's like I see on Twitter, Brighton fans and Borough fans giving Aaron Connolly a bit of stick. Look how good he's been. Watford with 2 fans, look how good he's been. Like you just take it with a pinch of salt. And I think for me, we both get our haircut by the same barber as well. So it's
probably not about me then.
Yeah, I think you need a bit of a shape up there. Yeah,
you're right. I'm gonna get a shot back and abandoned. I think go for that.
Yeah, I reckon shot back and laughed at. I think.
Oh wow, Aaron Maguire's giving me stick. Here we go. Let's welcome David into the chat now. Hopefully he's got a bit of slaver for Eddie. So, David, how are you doing, buddy? All right?
Hi guys. Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, really good, thanks. Really good.
I was going to say,
Number one,
you're talking about haircuts. Mine's a bit of a moth.
I was just about to ask you, where'd you get that from? The 60s?
I've heard that one before.
But yeah, okay. Number one, before we get started, love the shirt. I'm sure that is the shirt.
It is.
From my first year supporting it. We were speaking earlier.
Long sleeve as well. It's quite
wow.
Good find.
Respect it. Love it.
2003-2004 season.
Yeah.
2005, I think it is. One of the two.
Yeah, 4 or 5 on it, yeah.
Yeah.
Elliot away at like Torquay, I think it was. That sort of era.
That sort of era. That's a bit before your time, Eddie. You won't remember that.
Yeah, I only started supporting in 2007. All right, calm down.
You won't have been having a meal for that one, mate.
No, I definitely wasn't. I'd have been having a meal in my high chair at the dinner table with a bib on. That's how I knew that was.
Brilliant. So we've got David on. David has his own individual Twitter page, and he's also got a separate Twitter page, which is Hull City on Film. So please, if you haven't already seen this, jump onto Twitter and have a look for it. Because actually, I won't spoil it. David, what is Hull City on Film?
So I guess it's just like a sort of passion project of mine, really. So I've done sort of photography as a hobby for sort of pretty much since I was about 16. Well, no, probably even younger, to be honest. But yeah, I've recently started doing a lot of sort of film photography again, just because it's quite nice getting the film, sending it off to get developed, not knowing whether your photos are going to be any good or not. Like, that's obviously quite a, especially with sports photography, it's like really hit and miss. But yeah, so I kind of combined my two hobbies essentially. So like my love of Hull City and my love of photography. I'd seen that there was quite a few sort of accounts on Instagram and Twitter and stuff which do film photography. So I thought, oh, there's nothing for Hull City, so why not kill two birds with one stone and do
And I saw it. I was looking through it today, and I saw you get some decent numbers in terms of likes on your pictures. And stuff today, which is good to see. Because
what was it last week? I think Instagram changed something, and it like the engagement on it literally reached about 5 people, which I don't know why that happened. But yeah, but yeah, it seems to go quite well. I made a photo book about a month ago. I had quite a few inquiries from it, just from
I've seen that.
So it's quite cool, really. So,
I must say, I was looking through your account earlier, and I really had to say, I really did like the stuff on there. It's quite fascinating, to be fair. Just like how it looked and stuff. It's not like your usual photography, which it just made it feel a bit like more authentic and.
It's more old school. Well, not old school, but it looks a bit more old school because of like the grainy effect on it. So it's 100%. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of just to give a bit of a, I guess, different context in terms of like what you see.
You're on mute, David. I'll see if I can.
Am I back?
Yeah, and then I just muted you again. Sorry.
I'll take my earphones out. They're not the best. Yeah, so it was more to just give a bit of different context in terms of, like you see club photography all the time. They have really crisp imagery. It's always really nice. It was just something different, really.
No, it's good. The couple I've seen, and sometimes you can think it comes across like, please don't take this insulting, because I'm not trying to be insulting. Nothing ever good comes off the back of that, does it? But a couple of pictures I saw, you can see people in the immediate shot, and then whatever it is in the background. I love that. I think that looks class. Then, like say, with the grainy effects and stuff like that, it shows that real element. Whereas, like say, the professional stuff, they're just getting that one bit that they want you to see, don't they? Whereas that just goes, this guy was in amongst it, he was zooming in on this, and and that for me just feels so much better. Again, big love for that. And drop if you can in the comments after this, drop a link to page or comment from the page, whatever, try and get some people looking at that and maybe put some orders in on the photo books, so that'd be nice. But
it's sorry, go ahead.
Go on. So Hull City, when was your first game?
Wow, my first game was like 2001, something like that, against Hartlepool. Classic City. Ryan Williams scored first half, and we absolutely dominated, but we just didn't take any of our chances. And then second half, I think they scored like the 86th minute to equalise. And 1-1. Just classic City, But that's kind of so that was Bulfrey Park, and then obviously switch over to KC a few years after that, and sort of been on and off a member since, really. I've worked in like Manchester and Stoke and places like that, so I've kind of been sort of through jobs. So sometimes the membership sort of took it on the head.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's since I've moved back, it's been like one of the first things I thought of getting back, to be honest.
Oh, good stuff. So recent form, then, what are you thinking? Because I'm looking at it and I can't remember a time when we've been like this. We've won our last 3 away games, but we've drawn our last 3 home games. Like, you normally expect to see this the other way around. Like,
yeah.
What's your thoughts?
I was saying to my friend when we left on against Leeds, I said it shows how far they've kind of come when you consider that we're disappointed to not win games against a relegated Premier League team and a playoff finalist from last year. So, like, it's, to me, it shows the sort of progression. So, I mean, disappointing in terms of like not taking the chance with Traore against Leeds. But yeah, I mean, from my point of view, it was kind of like it shows how far they've progressed, that you're coming away disappointed that they've not won.
What did you think to the Leeds game then? Did you think it was a point gained or 2 points dropped?
I think tough one. I think like first half, I would have said point gained because they were all over us. I thought. I think if we didn't have Allsop, I think that would have easily been 3-0 at half time. We just couldn't seem to adapt for it for me. Then second half, I think even before they had a man sent off, I thought we looked like we were sort of coming into the game quite well. But it was one of them where it's just like on the counter because they've got so many like quick players. It was quite dangerous. So I mean, I think when you look at it from a point of view of that miss, I think it probably does feel a bit 2 points dropped. But when you actually look back on it, it's probably quite a good point, really.
Goals change games, don't they? I'm a big fan of this, and it changes the dynamic of how teams like to play. I'd hate to, I wouldn't think we would play the same if Rutter scores that first goal. You know, he gets through, and at that point we probably come a little bit more open at the back, and they were really good going forward. So, like you say, I think we could have easily gone in 3-0 at half time. Could that Rutter goal have gone in? So, you know, based on that, I think I'm happy with the point, regardless of how it happened towards the end. You know, and kind of is what it is. What's your thoughts on that, Eddie? What do you think?
I'm the same as you. I think with that first half, obviously, I thought that we were a bit slow. I think obviously the atmosphere was booming until about the 25th minute mark when they started to like get a bit on top of us and things like that. And I think Allsop kept us in that game like 100%. Like the past 2 games, did he get man of the match for Leeds? Didn't he? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And he gets man of the match last week on Sunday. And I think, like you say, we could have been 2-3-0 down at half time. But that second half, when we've come out, all guns blazing, sadly, Adama, he misses the goal. But I genuinely thought, like, I'm a bit gutted that we've dropped 2 points, but I'm happy with the point. Like, I was speaking to a few people in the pub before the game, and I said, like, well, what are your thoughts? And they're like, well, we're going to get beat. And I was like one of the only people that said, I think we'll do. I think we'll have a draw or we'll win. But after seeing that first half, Rosie must have got a hairdryer out or something because they just turned it around straight away. And I thought the second half we were the better team, and it could have gone anyone's way, really.
Yeah, I think the fact of City, I think for me at times they seem to need like a half to feel out a team, and then they're like, oh, actually, we'll come on to them now and we'll go at them.
Definitely. But, I have to agree with you.
Football's kind of played in phases now, isn't it? Where it's like it's not just like a gung-ho for full 90 minutes. It just doesn't work like that. So it's interesting to watch.
Do you know, it's sometimes when you try and strip it back a little bit further, knowing that the game is played in phases. Do you know when you've played football yourself at 11 aside, you think we don't do that, and trying to constantly think of that, like if you're in a game. I don't think I'd have the mentality to do that, right? So we're just going to sit in for the next 15 minutes.
Yeah,
I don't think I've got that mentality. You just want to go gung ho, don't you? We're playing for fun.
I played for some shocking teams when I played Sunday League. But yeah, I don't even think phases were even a thing in the mindset. I think it was like just don't get beat 10-0. Like,
yeah, exactly that. I'm going to ask you both a question now. I've only got one answer for it. I'm hoping you two can find another one. Think of players that have played for both Plymouth and Hull City.
I've only got one, and I think it's the same as you.
I've only got the one as well.
And to be fair, he did used to be my favourite player, and then I totally forgot about him after I'd submitted the squad to you. So,
oh really?
So mine Well, I think he had long black hair whilst he was at Hull.
Yeah.
I think he had an Alice band. If I remember rightly.
Peter
Hull Mersey.
Yeah, I was going to
Did
say.
he play for Plymouth?
Yeah, it's the Peter Hull Mersey derby, isn't it, on Saturday?
David. Do you know what? It completely. I've got somebody else.
Sonny Bradley.
Yep. All right. Cheers, mate.
Funny enough, I was actually speaking to Sonny today. I actually know him. So
how many names? Right, I'm going to go back through this stream and see how many times you have name dropped. I'm going to do that.
Do it. You can go back for it. It's a good 20 times now.
There's some memes going on the back of this. Eddie, do you know any famous footballers, Dave? It's Eddie. I'm talking to David now.
No, I can't say I do. I know a few friends who went to school with well, I say school. I went to the same school as, but my friends are close with them, like Max Clark and people like that. But wouldn't say I know them. Know of, but yeah.
I've spoke to Caleb Folan before on.
I have twice actually.
I've literally got no pulling power. Literally got nothing.
Weird story. Me and a few of the boys when we first turned 18, classic in betweeners kind of thing. Went to a beef fair, and we were it was the bank holiday weekend, and me and one of my mates, big Hull City fans, and it was we're both pissed up at this bar, and I saw this real tall guy walking towards us, and I was like, "Is that Caleb Folan?" And my mate was like, "No, why would he be in a beef fair?" So obviously we'd had a few, so I was like, "No, this won't be him." And and then literally it's like, "Caleb," and then he looked real confused and was like, "Oh, we're all City fans." So they came over and spoke to us, and yeah.
Did he get you a drink?
He didn't. No.
Human.
Caleb. He came across so nice on the podcast as well.
I had a bit of a weird interaction with. Well, he's a current Hull City player. He's out on loan at the moment. That was a weird one. So I told you about the time
we grew up with Harry Wood.
No. We were coming back from Malta, and we had obviously our flight from Amsterdam back to the UK got cancelled. So we're being proper tourists walking around the lovely parts of the red light district, and we were walking and we see a familiar face. He played centre mid for us. So I was saying to the boys, I was like, I swear I recognise him. I swear it's
Woods he?
I swear it's Ryan Woods. I went,
that ginger hair sticks out, doesn't it?
And then all the lads were like, Eddie, go and ask him. So I went, are you Ryan Woods? He went, yeah, I am. We're all City fans with that. I've never seen a kid scarper so quick in my life. It was hilarious. So funny.
As he's pulling his pants back up. Keep it PG, Matt. Come on. Jeez.
Yeah. Kids watching, Matt. You need to keep it PG.
Daddy, what's the red light district? But yeah, kind of is what it is. He used to keep himself calm. Yeah, all kind of good on that front. So, what are you thinking for the game coming up then? 3 points?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's hard to say a championship. It's it's such an unpredictable league. But yeah, I mean, I'd say, I'd probably say we'll concede. I think I kind of echo earlier, 2-1. I'd be happy with. But I mean, I don't know. I like the look of Philogene. I think he's a bit of a difference maker. So I think he could run rings around. I don't know who the left back is, to be honest. So he might be actually really good. But
Mumba.
Yeah.
I think he scored a goal. Actually, I've seen this goal that he scored as well. I'm just looking at the lineup. They've got that Hardy who plays up front, who's got 5 already this season, with 3 assists. So he looks like an handful. But however, they did score 6 at the weekend, so it could be completely different before that. Mumba, I don't know if you've seen it. I think it was the first or second game of the season against Huddersfield. He picks the ball up at left back position and just runs for everyone and just taps it in the back of the net. Legit.
So he's obviously quite good then.
Yeah. Remember when Tariq Lamptey first came on the scene?
Yeah.
It just reminded me of that. Just bullet. So kind of is what it is. Do you make any changes to the starting lineup?
I don't think I do, to be honest. I think Twine was rightly dropped. I think he looks. I don't know. He's not a winger, is he? He doesn't seem to fit that sort of mold where he has been playing. So I think he's he's probably had a bit of unfair criticism because he is playing out of position. But yeah, I think maybe the only change I'd do is maybe Tufan for Traore potentially, but Traore's scored and he's done pretty well on the last game, so tough one really.
I agree. I liked Liam Delap. He's a bit of a revelation in the way he is old school. He just runs at you, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's like the phrase is the kid in the playground. He literally just gets the ball and wants to run at you, which is so good to see. But sometimes it's the worst decision to make in that moment.
Yeah,
it's a little bit frustrating, but that's not criticising him because I was gutted to see him dropped at the weekend as well.
Yeah,
so
it kind of shows the depth of it, doesn't it? Really, when you consider it.
Exactly that. So, Dave, been absolute pleasure to have you on. Hopefully, you come on again in the future. We're going to move on to now what is the next part of this episode and the final part of this episode, which is another Maizai, and we're joined by Old Grandpa Joe. I don't even know if he still goes by Old Grandpa. I thought it was just Grandpa now, but yeah, Old Grandpa Joe. So, Dave, like I said, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. I'll look out for your stuff again, send some retweets across, and liking your pictures, etc. So, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it.
See you soon, guys.
All the best. See you later.
All the best. Eddie, how about that? How are you thinking to